everyone for coming in this evening. Good evening to everyone, and thank you again for participating in the Face It Live Q&A session presented by Fayette County Public Schools and the 16th District PTA, as this is a time for us as a family and community to engage together and support each other.
Yes, the Face It platform allows us to virtually have real talk, build real relationships, and allow real ways for us to express what we are feeling and exert our energy in a positive way and be solution-driven in our approach to whatever we are facing in our communities.
Absolutely. I'm Melody Westerfield. I am the FACE, the Family and Community Engagement Liaison at William Wells Brown Elementary School.
And I am Vita Stewart. I am the District Family and Community Engagement Liaison. And this week's Face It topic is focused on, are you ready for this? Facing and managing our work-life balance together. We have with us, we're so excited for our guest this evening. First we have Ms. Hutchinson. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
I'm Ebony Hutchinson. I'm the principal of the Promise Academy at William Wells Brown.
So glad to have you. And Ms. Spalding.
Hello, everybody. I'm Paige Spalding, and I am the Early Head Start Specialist at Community Action Council.
Absolutely. And she's a mother of two, right?
Yes, of two beautiful children, Arabella, who's 5, and Xander, who's 2.
And then, Miss Ebony, you have 2 of your own as well, right?
I do. I have Braylon, who is 8. He is in the 3rd grade, and Brianna is 14. She's in 9th grade.
Oh my God, good luck to you both.
Yes.
So I'm gonna jump off. Our first question is going to be to the both of you, but this is going to be, the first question is going to be for Ms. Hutchinson. Okay. So my question to you is, what has been the most challenging thing to deal with since starting back virtually while also working? But this is a unique question because you're not only starting back virtually, you're not only being a parent, but you're also an educator. So I really want to know what that looks like for you.
So yes, it is. That's a pretty loaded question because not only starting a new job back virtually, but then also having my daughter who's she's starting high school this year. So it was challenging. I was just saying to Paisha how I loved her setup in the background. We had to turn our dining room into school. So now there's a desk in there and getting him set up because I think he needed to realize, my son, that it was school and not just, I'm just playing at the kitchen table. So just challenging as far as, making sure that we had a schedule set up and realizing that, yes, we're starting virtual, but this is still school, even though we're not in person.
Yeah. Paisha, same question. What has been the challenges?
I would agree. One being the unknown. Just not knowing how this is going to look for her. This is her first year. So introducing your first year into kindergarten and it having to be virtual. I mean, she was already in the mindset, I'm going to school. And, when they say I'm going to school, they're realizing I'm going to the school building, and so that has been hard to process. But she has honestly done an amazing job. And even just with work-life balance, like trying to figure out, okay, my husband is working and he's outside of the home, but then I'm able to do a little bit here at the home, but then trying to figure out how am I going to manage my little one and how am I going to keep him occupied. I mean, it's been challenging, but as you can see from the background, I mean, we're making it work and she's doing a phenomenal job.
So, Paisha, what provisions have you put into place for your family as a whole?
Absolutely. So, like the village, we have utilized our village. We talk about our village often as being just that center point of necessity when we are in need, but we talk about it, but do we actually utilize it? And so I believe that speaking of a little one, we definitely have decided to make sure that we have utilized that what and when they need help us. So that's been what we've been doing here.
So Ebony, same thing. What provisions have you put into place What provisions have you put into place?
We're definitely living in the work-life balance now. So welcome to your little one.
Right. Somebody told me earlier, it's like you're living at work because it's like you just never leave. There's not that line anymore. So yes, absolutely. The Village, both of my husband and I, both of our parents have, been a tremendous help. My parents usually always come down in the beginning of the school year to help out. So same thing, they come down and help the kids get ready, getting on a schedule. So trying to keep them on a schedule has been the hardest thing, like bedtime. I don't think my son realizes we're still in school, so he wants to stay up all night. So trying to make sure like we set that time for bedtime, but having the Village to help us, our parents and other family members and friends. And then like she was saying too, setting up that time, that space in the home that's really now homeschool / work and everything else.
So Ebony, what has been the rewarding thing that's come out of this situation?
So my children, both, they're 14 and 8. So they have a pretty kind of large distance gap between them. So love it or hate it, they've had to learn how to live with each other every day, all day long without having, space to go to school and then come home. So, sometimes they hate each other, they're siblings, but then other times they love on each other and want to go outside and play. So I think giving them some time, to have time together too.
That's such a beautiful thing. Patience, same question. What's been the rewarding things coming from this situation?
So the rewarding thing was recently Arabella received Star Student of the Week. And so just in being able to see her expression and not just the hearing about it, after the school day, but literally her celebrating her success. And then seeing her literally log onto her computer by herself. Okay, say hi. Okay. All right. Log on to her computer by herself, get set up. She's 5 years old and she's navigating this. So, and then I guess too, going back to that unknown, because you don't know, and to see everything kind of play out, and we're really not as stressed as we thought. I'm not saying it's not hard, but we're not as stressed as we thought we were, or would be, has been very rewarding to know that.
Awesome, guys. I'm so glad that you guys have had some blessings in the midst of the storm, and I love that the siblings are getting to kind of share together, because they'll never get this time back. And then Ms. Spalding, talking about your daughter, even as being a kindergartner, gaining that independence. So thank you guys for sharing that. So how has your appreciation for teachers, the school staff changed or shifted since you've had to step into, all of those roles: teachers, social worker, counselor, cafeteria worker, custodian? You've had to, so how has your appreciation shifted or changed for those folks in that, are in the schools since you've had to, this past school year and this current school year, be all those things? And Ms. Spalding, you want to start?
Yes. So I absolutely appreciate our teachers, not just the ones in Fayette County, but all across the country, all across the world. I too worked as an educator within Fayette County, and so I understand once COVID started in March, I too was the teacher having to do the lesson planning, still figuring out how I'm going to communicate effectively and teach effectively with my students. And so I understand the struggle, and they are doing a tremendous job. I mean, just to even see how you can manage a classroom, kindergarten classroom, that is amazing to me. That is it's not for the faint of heart, first of all. And knowing that being an educator, my father has often taught me, he's an educator himself, that this is not a thankless job, and you often will not hear your thank yous when they're actually due, but knowing that you are still depositing and sowing, seeds into good ground, even though you don't see that growth, it's going to come to fruition. And so I'm so grateful, for our teachers.
Yeah, absolutely. As a educator, so I'm a principal, was a teacher. I've always said you should not teach your own children. And I think that I've learned that lesson in the last, how many months? 6 months. I definitely have an appreciation for both of their teachers. You know, they're at different stages. One's in elementary school, one's now in high school. You know, before it was middle school and then, you know, still elementary school. But, you know, definitely an appreciation for now seeing them as kids, but then as students in the classroom. So I sit there and like, do you really do this in the classroom? Like, we're going to talk about some of these things that you do. But you know, there is a special star in the sky and a special place in heaven for every teacher and administrator and anyone that works within a school. And I think all the parents are definitely seeing that now, that they're having to, you know, be all of those things for their kids at home.
Right?
Yeah. Kudos to all the teachers and staff and
Yes.
counselors and social workers and principals. You guys rock.
Custodians, cafeterian, like everybody, they do rock, right? So here's a real good question. I think it's the best question tonight, maybe. What have you, Ebony, learned about yourself? What have you learned about your child during this time?
Patience, goodness. Patience, you just need a whole lot of patience. I've learned where my patience is not. I've learned where I need to grow in my patience.
Come on.
Right. I've learned that there again, my whole kind of philosophy of you should not teach your own kids, that was just solidified. So I've definitely learned that about myself. Yes. My kids, I have learned that there's a different person when they get in front of their teacher between when they're in front of, you know, myself or my husband. So, but I've also learned that they can be independent and they can do a lot more than what I think a lot of people think that children can do. And so I hope that, you know, as parents and as educators, that we've seen what they really can do, that we give them some more of that independence and let them show us what they can really do.
That's so good. Patient, what have you learned about yourself?
I agree wholeheartedly. Hold on just a second, Xander. First and foremost, patience, yes, but I also have learned that I am very strong and I can do this no matter what is going to come my way. Like I literally can do this. And through my daughter, our kids will teach us a lot. If you just really watch children, they are so wise even at their age. But I've learned and I've seen her resilience. I've seen how brave she is, that she's a risk taker and she's going to, not even combat that with fear, but she's like really going to take that leap and she's going to do it. And she's adaptable. I mean, a lot of us as adults, we cannot adapt well. And because of that, like it has just been an amazing experience just to watch her in action. So I know that once she gets into the classroom, please Jesus, that it is going to be, it is going to be a little challenging, right? But I know she's going to do it. She comes from good stock, me and her dad, we tight like that. So, okay. It's just, she's going to do fine.
I thank you for that.
Yeah, I love the empowerment, and I think both, and if I don't say it for the rest of them, I think both of you are doing a great job. So give yourselves that.
Thank you.
But like I'm a planner, and you guys look like planners too. So when you have the best laid plans and then things don't go according to our plan, whether it's technology issues or our kids' moods, or, we've had this plan, we've got it laid out and it doesn't work out. How do you deal with that? Ms. Hutchinson?
So our word for the year, and Ms. Westerfield works in our building. What's our word for the year, Ms. Westerfield?
Flexibility.
Flexibility. So we talk all the time about just being flexible and how at any moment anything can change. So I think it's about your outlook on things. And if I know up front I need to be flexible because things might change, still having a plan, but knowing I have to be flexible, it allows room for that, for change and for things to happen. And it also helps you to come up with a plan B, C, D, and so on down the alphabet if you need them. So
thank you for that. Ms. Spalding, best laid plans, they don't work out.
I would have to agree. I mean, going back to that adaptability, you just have to kind of go with the flow. And that is sometimes hard. I know the first couple of days, technology was, it was acting out, throughout the country. And so Bella was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? I can't see my teacher. She can't see me. Is school over? I'm like, no, school's not over. Come on, let's get back into this. We're going to still go. You just, like you said, you have to be flexible. We are literally, everybody is experiencing, this unprecedented time. So it's not like we're alone. This is one thing I think we can all say, I share in your frustration. So we have to show, each other grace within it. So.
Great word. Good word.
Yes, the word flexibility and grace together, those words will take us through the rest of 2020. So thank you for that.
I think that's a good tattoo to put somewhere. 2020, grace and flexibility. That's the year of it. Right. So here's my last question for the both of you all. And so dig deep for this one. So what advice do you give others? What advice do you give yourself? What advice can you give a community of people who are, going through this work-life balance just like us all? Oh, Paige, go first.
I would say to the parents first, give yourself grace. Trust and utilize your village, and also trust what you have instilled into your child, because they're going to pull from that. And that it literally is going to be okay, and just take it day by day. To the teachers, your labor is not in vain at all. Please stay vigilant. As a parent and an educator, I understand wholeheartedly where you're coming from, and you're doing an amazing job. It may not feel that way, but you truly are. To the kids, keep rocking out. I mean, you guys are standing the test of time. A lot of adults had a lot of trouble to adapt into this, world. But you guys are doing well. And to show yourself grace and be patient with yourself. Because, we're going to get through this together, one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, no matter what role you're in, is just working so hard, whether it's parents, kids, educators, everybody is doing the best that they can, and just, keep that up. My advice is just to continue to work hard and do what you're doing, and everyone's noticing. I was talking to, a couple of teachers today that were saying that they were just so impressed with the resiliency of our students, and how, it's almost like they haven't missed a beat. They get in it, they do what they need to do, because someone has been there to teach them, whether it's their teachers or their parents or their family members that have been there to teach them about, giving it your all and giving it 110% every time they come in. And just like Paige said, giving yourself grace. We cannot be everything for everybody, and we can't do everything, 110% of the time, all the time. So know that it's okay if things don't go, the way that we want them to all the time. We're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. And we'll learn from those mistakes, because those are the best lessons.
Yeah. Vita, do you have?
And I'll also just add, if I can, Mel, real quick. This is even preparation for our high school students that are getting ready to go into college. A lot of courses, you can take online, and it's kind of self-taught too when you're taking it online, because it's not that teachers, be right in front of you. So you're getting that aspect now with the virtual learning. But when you get into college, it's not like that. So literally take this time, utilize it, learn how to finesse into sharpening these skills, because it's going to be beneficial in the future.
That's the truth. Me and Ebony talked about that the other day, the skills you will need coming out of college, some of them basic skills. And so this is pushing you, forcing you into movements, into moments in your life. So this is a peculiar time, I say. Vita, I am going to ask you an off the script question. Do you have anything that you would like to add?
I just reiterate, I think, I think I needed to hear that again tonight. So I think like I'm going to get a copy of this and download it. And so I can hear you guys saying that. But one of the things that I realized is that at this time, it's taught me that what is in me has been able to rise up out of this. And so there's already so many things within you, and you just have to dig deep, and it will come out of you. And, I'm just always looking for the blessing in the storm, always looking for that balcony moment. We can go to the basement. I mean, 2020 has felt like a basement year, but I'd rather be on the balcony cheering us through this, saying we can make it. And so you've got to dig deep, and you got to stay on the balcony. Don't live in that basement, but go to the balcony and just know that what's in you is going to rise up out of you. And we're doing fantastic. If somebody hasn't told you today, you're doing a fantastic job.
Yes.
I love it.
I
So
received
listen,
that.
right, right. Like, how can you not end the show like that on the high? Like,
Right.
Okay.
so, okay, ladies, thank you for all the great information. I hope that our families were tuned in tonight and were able to receive everything that you all threw out there, all of the gems that you all gave us. Thank you for joining us tonight on this week's Face It Live Show Q&A chat. We would like to stay connected with you and continue to build a stronger community of support for all of our families. Vita is going to tell us and tell you all how we can do that.
Yes, send us your pictures, your videos, and those words of encouragement that we can share with each other. And tell us about how you're facing this time together at home. And we want to highlight some of the messages that we receive that you send to us. So if we want to know your questions, your suggestions about today's live chat, again, let me tell you, email those to us at faceit@fayette.kyschools.us. It's on the screen as well. Or text us at 859-903-5531. We want to hear from you.
Absolutely. And everyone, please continue to stay tuned for our upcoming Face It show, October 8th. We will be focusing on parent advocacy with Penny Christian. We want you to continue to visit our Facebook page, as we will continue to update information and provide information for all of our communities, and continue to talk about the upcoming topics as we address them. So again, we plan to stay connected with you and continue to face it together. Good evening, you all. Good evening.